Refined taste. Several water towers dotted the yard. Most engines didn't care which they used. To hear Gordon talk, you'd have thought choosing the right one was an art. One morning, he was preparing for the first express. 87546, an engine on trial, sat at a nearby water tower. "Sorry, Gordon," he grinned. "Engines who've been up and working get to drink first." "Take your merry time," Gordon yawned. "I'll have a drink at the station. Far more refreshing than what you're taking on." "There's no difference," 46 scoffed. "Goods engines like you wouldn't understand. I, however, have refined taste. To pull the express, I need plenty of steam. For that, only the finest water will do. And for that," Gordon concluded, "the station tower is best." 46 was cross. He'd pulled the express before Gordon arrived, and didn't like being called a goods engine. "You only use that tower so the passengers will stare at you," he sneered. "If they happen to gaze upon a fine engine like myself, I see no issue," Gordon finished smugly as he left the shed. The passengers did notice, remarking how smart Gordon looked. He backed onto the coaches, going whoosh, 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 and blowing steam at passing engines. He was prouder than usual for several days, and everyone gave him a wide berth. 46, however, watched him like a hawk, scheming all the while. "Listen," he whispered to 98462, another loaned engine. "That Gordon needs a lesson. Let's teach him something." Some days later, Gordon went to the station for the morning express. Workmen were huddled around the water tower. "Hoop, hoop, I need water." "Won't get it from here," grumbled a workman. "Leak in the hosebag. You'll have to go elsewhere." "But my express is due out soon," Gordon exclaimed. "Best get a move on, then," the workman retorted. Begrudgingly, Gordon fussed away. At the tower in the yard, he found 6-2. "Hurry up! I need a drink," he hissed. "Sorry," 6-2 replied. "Can't move. My crew's away. Try the shed." But there, 4-6 sat with the tower's hose in his tender. "I need a drink at once," Gordon fumed. "As do I," 4-6 replied lazily. "Only just made it here before I ran dry. I did see a tower at the back of the yard, though." Gordon rushed off, too busy to notice 4-6's sly grin. He searched frantically until, at last, he spotted the tower among some dirty sidings. "That'll have to do, old boy," his driver sighed as he backed Gordon into position. The fireman put the hose bag in, and his tender slowly filled with water. "Oh!" Gordon shuddered. "This tastes horrible." "We've no time to spare for taste," the driver scolded. "Now come on." Filthy rubbish, Gordon muttered as he puffed away. When they reached the station, he was more ill than upset. He felt awful in the pit of his boiler. The passengers stared again, this time in bewilderment, but hurried aboard as the guard's whistle blew. Gordon gave a feeble whistle and tried to start. "Come on! Come on! Come on!" he groaned. "We're trying to come! We're trying to come!" the coaches fretted. He hadn't even reached the first signal box before... Whoosh! He stopped, enveloped in a cloud of steam, and his nose as blue as his paint. The passenger's shock quickly became irritation at the delay. 6-2 arrived and pushed Gordon into a nearby siding. "About time the express was handed back to a proper engine," he laughed. "I couldn't agree more," 4-6 chortled as he backed down onto the coaches. "Hold on, you said I could take it," 6-2 fumed. "How can you when you're in that siding? Besides, we're late as it is. Ta-ta!" 4-6 puffed triumphantly away. 6-2, cross over being swindled, wheeshed noisily back to his goods train, and poor Gordon was left alone. Later, he was being cleaned out when Thomas came by, laughing. "Got a mucky firebox, have you? That's what you get drinking from the dingy drip." "The what?" "That old tower at the back of the yard. It gets water from the ditch, which isn't as clean as it used to be. We all know to stay away from it." "Well, almost all of us," he snickered. "And does all of us include 87546? Gordon muttered. "Of course," Thomas replied. "I told him so last night when he asked if it still worked." "I've got something I'd like to ask him," Gordon fumed with realization. He needn't have worried. The fat director had heard everything. He scolded 4-6 and 6-2 severely, and they were rather quiet for several days. Unlike the other engines. "Here, Gordon," Henry called from a nearby tower. "I've had a drink, and this water should be up to your tastes." Gordon harumphed. "They'll forget about it soon," soothed Edward. "But for now, you'd do well to, ditch the drip." The fat director saw to it that the drip no longer took water from the ditch, but from that day on, Gordon couldn't so much as look at it. His taste had been soured.